Rev Rob, Biblical Basketball, and it's finally NBA playoff time. The only time the top professional basketball athletes play hard. Guys are actually diving on the floor, giving you a good effort, giving you they picking people up full court. Other day I saw Chris Paul having problems with Dennis Schroeder picking him up full court. You don't get that in the regular season. That's why I love the NBA playoffs. Top talent playing at the top level, giving you everything they got. And I love upsets in the NBA playoffs. Now I'm old school. I remember when they used to have the a 5-game series in the first round. This was back in the day. And one of the best upsets ever was when the Denver Nuggets beat the Seattle Supersonics in the playoffs in 1995. And what's so crazy is the Seattle Supersonics had the best record in the league, and they got upset. Let me go ahead and show you a few highlights of it. But the Seattle Supersonics had Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, catching crazy oops all day. And the Denver Nuggets had Dikembe Mutombo, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Robert Pack, LaFonso Ellis, etc., etc. But just watch the highlights first.
Top-seeded Seattle had little reason to fear upset in the first round against Denver.
The Sonics 63-19 during the year, the best overall record in the league, the best home record, the best road record.
And anytime you win 63 wins, you expect to win the championship.
They bounce him out of there, and they pick his pocket. Out here comes the Kendall Gill, the shot.
You think this ball club is ready?
You can see Denver really showing their experience.
But the Nuggets are completely befuddled.
Everyone in the country just knew Seattle was going to blow us out 3 games, 3 up, 3 down. We'd be out of the playoffs. We shouldn't have been there anyway.
Looks like they're not going to give Denver a chance to get any kind of hope in this one tonight.
Blue pass, Peyton 2-on-1, Ricky to the ground, Peyton it in. Oh, baby, when you're hot, you're hot. That ends the game. The Sonics win it 97-87 to take a 2-0 lead on Denver.
It was a very difficult lesson, a painful lesson. I heard in the background, sweep, sweep, sweep. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, we're here to sweep, but, in the playoffs, you got to take one game at a time. If we can go to Denver and sweep and get some rest, I think it'd be good for us.
But the Sonics could hardly expect what awaited them in Denver.
Run and gun Denver basketball.
A little more of that aggressive defense in Seattle, but Robert Pack dribbles right through. Ellis over in the corner, Reggie Williams, another 3. What is going on here in Denver?
Our primary goal was to win a game and get some experience. But as the series progressed, I think the Sonics got a little tighter and we played a little better.
The Nuggets kept battling Seattle. And before anyone knew what happened, the momentum was theirs.
They're getting every break in the book tonight. The Denver Nuggets are still alive in round 1 of the Western Conference Series with Seattle.
Winning Game 3 gave the Nuggets the confidence they needed.
And Mutombo comes over to swat it away. Kendall Gill, Mutombo again.
Tenacity of this young Denver team puzzling Seattle.
Everything seems to change emotionally if they lose this one.
And the door is still open for the Nuggets. This is the 3 and the tie.
Seconds later, in overtime, the Nuggets sealed it.
Ellis buries the ball and buries the Sonics. The darlings of Denver, the Nuggets, walk off the floor, stretching the series to 5.
Heading back to Seattle, the Nuggets had already exceeded their expectations. Now, they could almost relax.
You knew that at that point, all of the pressure was on the Sonics. I mean, there was no pressure on us, 0.
That was a situation no one would have predicted. And now, back on their own court, the Sonics were in the fight of their lives.
Gill!
The Nuggets answered every Seattle challenge and forced the game to its final furious moments of regulation play.
The final minute of the season for Denver or for Seattle. Who would have ever thought you'd put those two teams in that sentence?
Desperation time for Seattle.
Short. Kendall Gill knocks it home with a half second remaining. Tied at 88.
But the Nuggets were relentless. Taking the Sonics to overtime, They had come too far to let this historic series slip away, even against the best team in the league.
Makambo embraces the ball, and they're unlikely upset.
We were just all high-fiving and shaking our fists, and it was, I don't know if I can ever experience anything as powerful as that moment.
One of the great upsets in NBA playoff history.
And sometimes when I look back at this, I wonder, was that really an upset? I mean, it was a best of 5 game series. It wasn't like the Nuggets just surprised them and won one quick game. They had to win 3. Was that really an upset? Or were we just surprised that the Nuggets were that good? And that's what I love about the NBA. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, you know, when you look at the NCAA tournament, it's more of a sprint. You know, you can beat a top-ranked team real quick in one game. But in the NBA, you have to beat a team 4 times. 4 times you have to beat them. That's not going to happen if you're not better. That's not going to happen if you're not tougher, stronger, if you're not thinking better than the other team. And that's just what I like is there may be a surprise that one team eventually wins the series. But in my opinion, the best team always wins the best of 7 game series. That's why I love the playoffs, man. We get to see who's who, what's what. Your weaknesses, they're thrown out right in the forefront. You can't hide. It's the playoffs, best of 7. Think about it. If you're sprinting and you fall or make a misstep, you're probably going to lose that race. But in a marathon, if you fall or have a misstep, you're going to be able to recover because it's a long road. It's a long road. Who can endure? Who can get up? Who can get through adversity? Who can be down in a series 2-1, 3-1, and still come back? And your Christian journey is going to be very similar to the NBA playoffs. You're not going to just win in one game. You're not going to just lose it all in one game, but it's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a long, drawn-out series. You're going to lose. There's going to be some bad times. But down that journey, if you're trusting God, if you're believing in Him, if you're being obedient, if you're allowing God to use you in the ways you've been built to be used, you'll win that series. It might be game 7. You know what I mean? It might be a nail biter, but it's a marathon with Jesus. So look at this picture. This is a picture of Job, a character in the Bible, also the name of a book in the Bible. I encourage you to read the book of Job. But this man went through a crazy marathon of trials, just a wild marathon. Even his teammates and his friends weren't very helpful. But he stood the course. God ends up blessing him in a crazy, great way at the end. As if you were in a playoff game, I want you to hang in there and know the better team's going to win in the playoff series of being a Christian, of the trials that you're facing, standing up for God and trying to do the right thing. And I guarantee if you're doing that, there will not be an upset in this season.